also say something.
Yay, here we go.
Ron was there like an hour early.
Yeah, I know. Hey, and Bert is right on time. Well, maybe 1 minute early, but
It's right on time.
oh, I can hear it myself through somebody
Yeah,
else's
there's an
speakers.
echo.
I think it's Bob.
It was me.
Timed it perfectly to get me talking right back at him. All right. Yeah, we'll give it a few minutes like we always do. I guess I could go probably here. Yeah, we'll bring that up. All right. Big days, big days. Oh, I'm supposed to bring... I was going to do this. Let's see. One more thing to get ready here. Huh. I didn't know this song was in here. This takes me straight back to Deployment Dojo right now. I know you guys can't hear the music right now, but everybody else can. It's like straight out of the dojo. Okay, just looking at all the other things. All right. Hey, Julian Lin. So, I mentioned to some people, but I don't remember who, that I was thinking about creating the WiX 5 milestone before this meeting so we could start putting things into it. And then I decided against that. So anything that we don't want to put in WiX 4, we'll just put in vFuture. And then we will go through vFuture probably in the next meeting, but we'll talk about that. And then put all those things in V5 Preview 1 milestone when I create it after V4. I just thought it'd probably be better to put everything into that bucket so we go and review it in one big swoop. Jacob's here. That means we could get started, right? We'll still give a few minutes for everybody that's not used to this. Oh, I need to do the Twitter thing, don't I? Go push a few extra buttons. Where is that? There we go. Whee! Is anybody else excited? And maybe a little tired? Maybe, probably not too tired. Too many things coming out. Exciting days ahead of us. Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna do that. We'll do that. And push the button. There we go. All right. Jacob got it. I take no credit for the joke. You know who came up with that joke. All right. 2 more minutes. Everybody's chilling out there. It's nice and quiet. Zoom, zoom. All right. All right. All right. Ooh. All right. How's everybody doing? We ready? 2 more minutes. Oh gosh, I guess I'm waiting for all of the minutes. Probably should. Keep it consistent, right?
So technically, we could start, anytime.
Yeah, because Jacob's here, right?
Well, technically, we could start even without Jacob. Jacob, I'm sorry.
We have started without Jacob, but we usually wait the full 5 minutes. Anyway. Let's see. All right. My goodness, yes. I guess, do I have everything ready to go? I think that's right. I'll get my heads-up display here. All right.
Heads-up display is also called a monitor.
Monitors and all the excellent stream health condition. Over here, I have the correct slides. I have the next screen set up when we have to switch to them. Yeah, all of this. I mean, if that's not a heads-up display, what is it? It's just a bunch of monitors that you're looking at data on it, but it sounds much better if it's heads-up display.
It's a qualification. I mean, it would help if it were actually up, but
it is up. I'm standing. I'm looking at all these things in my head.
All right.
Yeah. For those that don't know, in the last minute, the way that I have my configuration set up, anytime that I'm broadcasting, either here or on the deployment dojo, I'm on my standing desk. I am standing. My desk goes up and down, but I'm always doing standing, and always have. I don't know if that makes it easier or harder, but that's just the way it is set up. All right. Let's go.
Just for when you're broadcasting, or
all the times I'm broadcasting, I'm always standing.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now it's like you have to stand because otherwise something will go wrong.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure how deep I'm in the superstition, but I'm getting pretty comfortable with the technology. But yeah, no, I stand now just because I'm used to it. Also, it was a little weird in the beginning. It's just one more thing I was doing while talking and typing and all those kinds of things. All right. Let's go ahead and get this meeting going. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is the WiX Online Meeting 255, 2023, April 4th, the day before the 19th anniversary of WiX Toolset Bay release as open source. It's pretty exciting, but there's something even more exciting happening tomorrow, and that is WiX 4 is going to be done. Unless we blow it all up today, which is why we're here today and not Tuesday instead of our usual Thursday meetings. These meetings are recorded for those of you that aren't with us right here, right now. I don't have a whole lot of other things to say other than let's get into it. The agenda is not going to be much different than what we've been doing for a while. By the way, all of you that are here, welcome. Thank you. Bert, June, Jacob, Ron was here an hour early. I don't know if he hung out or not, if he got tired of waiting for us to show up. Anyway, we're doing things a little bit different order. We're going to do triage, and then we'll talk about the WiX 4 release plan because triage may inform that release plan. And then we'll do questions, comments, other things that people want to talk about. We unfortunately have a whole lot of things to triage, so we should probably go do that right now. Bob, ready?
I am ready.
14 open, 2 closed. That's a lot. That's more than we've had in the last 2 releases almost. Or 2 releases, 2 RCs. Anyway, I'm going to start at the top.
And you might want to refresh.
Oh, haha, someone made things go away faster. Ta-da-da. All right. Yeah, now there's one more closed. That's great. That is heading definitely in the right direction because we have 13 of them. We have a milestone called V Future where we will be putting things. When WiX 4 is done, we will then go through that. One of the first things we'll do in setting up the next version of WiX, aka WiX 5, we will go through that future milestone and pull the things we want out of it. So today's a little bit of kind of a silliness. It's like, yeah, we're going to take this probably, so we're going to put it future, but we'll put on V5. But I want to do it all in one big swoop. So anything that we are not taking today, but we want to take in the next release, we'll put in V future. Otherwise, things will get tagged up for grabs, and someone could go work on them. Otherwise, we're talking about what bugs are we fixing in the last days of WiX 4. You had 3 RCs before this, 4, and a preview, 2 previews, people. Why did we wait till the last minute? Anyway, thank you for the bugs. Still a little frustrated that we could have got these like 2 months ago. All right.
Even a week.
Yeah, every week. All right. Multi-SZ string. No, it does not. Multi-SZ insert string does not double nil terminate. Number 7311. This is a DUtil improvement. I don't know if we should not take this in WiX 4 at this point in time because it's going to change the behavior. So it's too late. The question is, do we just toss it in V future because Nier's already sent a PR for it and we'll probably take it there? Or we're like, no, we definitely don't want to do this, so we need to go talk about that. Or has even anybody looked?
Well, it might be worth a discussion. I will say that when I saw this bug, I was curious and went and looked at the code in dutil in WiX 2, and it is very, very, very similar.
Oh, I'm sure it
So
hasn't changed.
if this is a bug, it has existed for many years. But yeah, I would put this in vFuture, and then
All right,
we can
and we'll discuss there.
look
Great.
closer at the PR. Yeah.
Fantastic. vFuture it goes. And assign it to near, so vFuture should have things assigned to people. 7319 is actually a feature request I made on Windows. I just didn't realize they actually did it. And Bob found it via Raymond Chen, because Raymond Chen, I kind of think of Raymond Chen as our, I was going to say guardian angel, but he doesn't care about us at all. But he's like the only person that talks about stuff that we care about. Anyway, the whole security issues that we had in Burn all come down to this particular issue where it is possible to hijack an XE's DLLs to force it to load system DLLs out of your local directory instead of the system directory. Anyway, I don't want to dig into it. It was a pain, and I remember going through all that thinking Windows should give us a feature so that we don't have to worry about that. Well, it turns out they did. We will need to test it a lot to make sure that it doesn't break anything. So while I think this is fantastic, we definitely should not take it right now.
Absolutely not.
We should put it in early V5 and then deal with any issues that come out of it, because this will improve the security of Burn significantly. So anyway, thank you, Raymond, or whoever did the work. And I wish we would have found this earlier, although he only talked about it a few days ago. Raymond, you should have written your blog. No, sorry. Nope.
It's been in Windows for quite a while. All the currently supported versions of Windows now allow this. So.
Right. Yeah.
But it's definitely a belt and suspenders kind of thing. It does not get rid of the need for the clean room, for example.
Gotcha. All right. So that 7319 we will put in vFuture. Bob, are you taking that one? Sorry.
Yes.
Yep. All right. Great. All right. Now I have to keep track. Some of these already have PRs because there is 7327. Can I make this one bigger? Two bigger. There we go. All right. 7327. MSU package documentation includes stuff about permanent. Bob already has a pull request to improve the documentation about this. So we should take that.
Yes.
I don't know.
Sean, this is actually, as we've been requesting reviews from everyone. So Sean, this one is still open, pending your peek over in the web repo.
Didn't realize we were doing that for the documentation stuff.
Well, documentation is of vital importance. Plus, I have a tendency to make stuff up when I don't understand it. So, no, I'm confident it's fine. But there was also a code change because I had to pull out support for freestanding attributes.
Yep.
Okay.
7332. Heat fails to load DLL linked against COM control 6.0. Yeah, they did some really strange decisions here. I don't know. Anyway, things in Windows for backwards compatibility.
Back in the 90s.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, talking that you could add a manifest to be able to load different COM controls in Heat. We can toss this up for grabs if someone wants to go try to figure out how to fix this. They could go do that. I assume neither of you guys are jumping on this. No. Okay.
Well, I thought it'd be like a behavior change in 4, and then I thought it was gonna disappear in 5. So.
Well, I have to figure out exactly what we're doing in 5. But yes, we've definitely made a place so it can go away. But yep, someone wants to tackle it, they can. It's all that self-reg stuff.
But not in 4.
Definitely not in 4. So it goes up for grabs, and we're not taking it for it. Honestly, if anything goes up for grabs today, it's not happening. Like if one of us aren't stepping up to do it in the next 8 to 10, 12 hours kind of time frame, it's not happening.
Are we still doing the breaking change label or whatever it is?
I don't. If it goes in 5, is it a breaking change? I guess someone should look at it. I don't know if it's a breaking change. You'll get a different COM control. I don't know. I haven't thought about it deeply.
That's interesting. This one feels weird to me because why would self-reg be loading common controls? But I
He
suppose
says I don't. It says something about regserve32 is doing the same thing, and it's because your process has to be the one that controls the manifest and all that kind of stuff. Anyway,
yeah, it's just
I fundamentally don't care that much. So
self-reg. This level of self. This is the kind of thing that makes self-reg, smell.
well, yeah. Anyway, so someone could look into that. I don't know. I mean, if we're not going to dig into it, I don't know if we can mark everything breaking change. We certainly should mark things that need to be whip required. I think that's the most important thing. I don't know if this needs a whip other than it needs like the test to verify that it works or anything else.
Okay.
7333 found a way to sneak through error handling and create a crash later in the binder. We will see another one of these in a little bit where invalid authoring was not being told that it was invalid. Code and then burn or WiX would crash. I have fixed this. This is in, and I left it here just so we could talk about all the things that have been fixed in the last week, I guess. That's it. That has been fixed. XE package is being rolled back even when it was not installed, but it was attempted to be installed or something.
Yeah, it ran it.
It ran it, and then it said unrun it. And as I think, Sean pointed out, that's the new behavior. And there we go. So I think this is not a bug. This is the expected behavior in WiX 4. And if someone wants to talk about alternative behavior in WiX 5, I think we probably could talk about a feature and a whip and all the things that would go into what the change behavior would be in WiX 5. But this is not a bug in WiX 4. This is the behavior in WiX 4. Let's see. I've lost it. Actually, WiX conversion log message if target dir uses a component directory. This is 7340. More challenges around the attempt to suppress the concept of target dir more and more out of WiX. I have a fix out that will apply the target dir, get rid of the directory ref and put target dir as a component directory on there. I debated not fixing it, where right now just drop this component and then this fails to compile. I debated doing other things and decided that since we didn't do enough work around really trying to push down target dir and put good messaging around that and such like that, probably the best thing to do was just to put the directory attribute on the component so everything keeps compiling even though you are still using target dir. And we should talk about that in V5, some future release, about further distancing ourselves from target dir, given all the unexpected behavior that can provide your install. So that was the fix to that. That's out there. Pull request. This was someone found that in 7341 that the binary key had been converted to binary ref in a long time ago change, I think in WiX 4, and conversion was not catching that on the IS certificate. So I just did the targeted fix and fixed this one because I was doing a bunch of other WiX cop fixes, and this was very straightforward. There's also the thing about overwrite. I did not touch that. And I was like, too many discussions around that one. So I fixed the thing that clearly needed to be converted, and we can go talk about overwrite if they want to open a separate issue for that. Simple things. So these are small WiX cop conversion things. The reason I'm willing to do the conversions is because you can write a test for them very straightforward and see the fix. So they are easy. All right. 7342 WiX conversion diffix app extension WiX library elements not removed. So WiX does not have any processing of the WiX projects. We don't have any processing of solution files, semantics, and stuff like that. There is a conversion experience for this in Heatwave around doing lots of work around projects. So this issue, if anything, should be moved to WiX 5 or to WiX 5. I'm going to repeat off to the FireGiant team to see if they want to go try to resolve this in Heatwave in some release because they do all the project stuff. So I guess you can give this to me and I will do a migration, open it over there.
Okay.
And maybe one day I'll come up with some automated process that does that. Or, it hasn't been that bad, but we'll see how things go. 7343. I'm talking way too much. I do not want to be here. 7343. Comment in folder or file name of Wix project causes a build error because of make relative. The MS build make relative function does not have support for file names with commas in them. Other parts of MS build have had this problem apparently.
Quotes aren't good enough.
I have not had a chance to try if quotes will work around it. I'm not confident that they will, given this. This is basically a poor design of this function. And I dislike it. At the same time, don't put commas in your file names, but I guess you can.
It's legal, but taunting fate.
Yeah, it's like putting semicolons in your file names. You can do that too, but that's going to create all kinds of problems in places.
Is that really legal?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Thanks.
So give this to me. If we don't fix it, if I don't come up with a fix that's safe in 4, I'll put it into vFuture and we'll tackle it in v5 because we should handle this silly case. One option maybe is just to resolve it external. Get MS Build to fix it and resolve it external. We're not the first people to get hit by this. He pointed a link out to the SP.NET team had this same problem. And it looks like they solved it by not using this function. So I might be looking at that later today. If it's a targeted, straightforward fix. .NET compatibility check. Return values are off, number 7345. I assume this is true. Bob has updated the documentation, I think, to add those numbers or the correct numbers. Is there anything else to this?
I think that's waiting for me as well.
Yep, that's correct.
But I mean, it's that simple, right? It's just the documented numbers needed to have this whatever added to it. So offset added.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. Interesting. I'm not deep in that area. Everything about it kind of surprised me every once in a while. 7347 is another, is essentially the same issue as the other null reference exception in a different place. But both of them were bad data was allowed to get through. In this case, this is an MSI, I think. Yeah, this is the MSI package that is missing, attributes that are required. And then later on the system's like, hey, they should have been here already. And then things blow up. So that is also fixed with the same change. .NET compatibility check causes visible flashing of .NET Core check window 7353. This is interesting, Bob.
It was a bug.
You could reproduce this?
I could not reproduce it, and then I could.
Oh, interesting.
It happens so quickly that I didn't see it at first. And I thought, ooh, well, I don't know, maybe they're using Windows 11 and it's a Windows 11 thing. And then I looked more closely at the screenshot. No, that's Windows 10. Even in the sandbox, like I was doing. But it was, I couldn't do it. So I set it up in a loop and, oh my God, there it is. I saw the flash. And you can even see it. I don't think you can see it in the movie there, but you can see the title bar of the MSI Basic UI kind of flash because they're losing focus.
That's so cool. You have to videotape it to catch it. It's like catching a ghost. It only shows up on film.
I'll pull out my, I wish I had a good Ghostbusters memory. Ectoplasm thingamabob.
Wow.
Yeah, so it turns out that the code we were using to call the netcore check executable had a bug that it wasn't actually handling the show window value that we were passing to hide it. And so by default, it was showing it. But again, it works, on the order of tens of milliseconds. So it was kind of tough to see.
Cool. So it was real. It was real. That's kind of cool. You only catch it by videotaping it. That's awesome.
Well, it's weird too because as you can see from the screenshot and the video, it doesn't look like a console window.
Mm-hmm.
So I was paranoid for a moment that somewhere along the lines they changed it into a GUI app, which doesn't make any sense for what the tool does. But no, it's a console window.
Huh, interesting. Oh, a screen reader. Jacob's right. Probably a screen reader might grab it or try it. I wonder what a screen reader does when something shows up that fast and disappears that fast.
It tries to read the title.
Does it?
Yeah.
Does it stop reading the title when it disappears?
No.
Oh, okay. So it does finish reading the title.
No,
so you could also get it if you have accessibility turned on. So if you close your eyes and you just have the computer read to you, you can also catch it. That's awesome. I love it.
It's especially fun because it reads out the title bar, and in this case, the title bar is a long file name. Yeah.
I love it. This is like the MacGuffin in some like detective novel or something. It feels like the thing that happens. Is it the MacGuffin? Whatever. The point where everything turns. Like, oh yeah. Anyway, I'm amused. 7356 related bundle actions should be lowercase. They should be. This was a very straightforward fix mixed in with all the other conversion fixes that I was doing. So I just did it. It's not terribly exciting. 7357 is another condition where the inner text was not moved. This one was an extension. So I went and grabbed that one, wrote a test for that as part of conversion. And that also is like all the other conversion tests. It's very simple. Which then leaves us with 7358. WiX converts, remove, suppress, signature verification. This PR is a little bit more interesting because it was the original PR was a typo, misspelling. I misspelled it, validation instead of verification, and just totally spaced it. So went through and just fixed all the words to verification. And then Sean, you pointed out that there's a change in here. This one, I think, that maybe this change shouldn't be here anymore. I think it's this part of the change.
Yeah, I mean, aren't those attributes still there in v4 now?
They are on remote payload. Yeah, right? So is it just take these two lines out then?
I think so.
And leave the certificate public key and split thumbprint. So this code, so my best guess is that this code is old enough that it was written when suppress signature verification was going away. So we had a whole lot of things removed. And then the feature came back. And now it's controlled basically off of these two attributes. Right?
Yeah.
That makes sense. I'm pretty sure I did the WiX cop work when I removed catalog and signature verification.
All right. So
I'm pretty sure preview 0 didn't have signature verification.
I believe that's right.
Right. That would make sense.
It came back after that because of something.
All right. So remove these.
.NET probably.
So remove these two lines and then go again.
Okay. But also the error messages for the other ones aren't really correct anymore because they all say signature verification is no longer supported, and that's not true.
Oh, like in the catalog? Because catalog is still gone, right?
Yeah, we don't support it through a catalog.
Good.
So the message should be something else?
Like when you're removing the suppress signature verification, like it shouldn't say signature verification is no longer supported.
All right.
It's more that during build, it's not going to automatically get the certificate information for you.
So it's more about saying, hey, use these attributes instead to do certificate verification. This attribute doesn't do anything anymore. Or this attribute doesn't work at all. So go use these instead. All right, that needs to be wordsmithed. Okay, can go spend more time thinking about the words for that one. however many people had suppressed signature verification, because we flipped the default, so most people didn't need it, at least on MSI packages. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll see. It's probably all right. I have to go kind of wander around in that a little bit and basically redo that signature verification, because it will probably trip people up. All right. Okay, so that PR. Everything else, I don't know if they're gone. Yeah, everything else on here is assigned almost to me. Has pull requests out to go tackle them. Where'd the suppress verification go? Did it just get committed? I'm confused. Oh, maybe. Oh, got triage removed from it. Got it. Okay.
Yes.
All
I've
right.
been doing that.
So one thing that isn't here, but it's been in the discussions, is the display internal UI condition. It looks like it's tripping people up that it's a condition. And then someone had a discussion where when it was trying to uninstall, like the UI that the MSI showed didn't show the uninstall button. So I'm kind of wondering whether I shouldn't have made a condition and I should have left it and made it work like it does in V3, but like the standard BA would have to do the work of making sure it's only shown during install.
And the condition it's a good idea. I mean, beyond the WiX bundle action, there might be scenarios where you don't want it. So, I mean, we should certainly add some, maybe to the conversion fact, we can, stress that it's conditioned so that we don't get so many conditions of yes. I'm not sure about the not showing the uninstall button, because we made that work.
Yeah, I didn't try to reproduce that. So I don't know if that was something special with HIP's bundle or MSI or whatever. But if that always happens, then it probably shouldn't work that way.
Well, I don't think that's related to the condition, though, right? Or whether it's a condition. There is, and maybe this is another thing for the doc, is we changed WiX UI to support internal UI, right?
As a separate BA.
Well,
yeah, but we also changed WiX UI so that.
Oh, WiX UI. Sorry.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry.
WiX UI.
Wrong answer. Sorry.
So that the maintenance mode dialog would work when it was being driven by internal UI, display internal UI. So if someone has a customized UI that they ported, it might not match. It might not work.
I guess my concern was that that discussion matched the bug that I had with the new BA, the internal UI BA, where I had to change it to always ask for install, because when it asked for repair, then it was putting, I think it was reinstall all on the command line, which made the MSI not show the maintenance window, maintenance UI. It showed
Correct. Yeah, if you pass, there's a list of properties, all the feature selection properties like reinstall. If you pass them in, MSI sets the pre-selected property, and WiX UI will respects that. So I guess it's kind of a this is why we didn't show internal UI except during install back in V3, because this is hard. And again, if you've customized the UI, you don't have any changes that we made in WiX UI to support it. But yeah, the reinstall all will definitely cause fluctuations in WiX UI, because it has to respect that pre-selected property. I mean, the same thing happens from the command line. It's just usually if you're mixing command line, you don't usually mix command line with full UI.
I guess the question I had was whether we should change it to where WiX standard BA will never show the MSI UI for repair or uninstall.
Standard BA or?
Yeah, standard BA. So like the condition would only apply for install.
It feels late to be changing behavior unless it really is broken.
How does internal UI behave? The internal UI BA behave? It doesn't abbreviate well. IUI BA.
It always asks Burn to install it. It says force present, so it will always do install.
Interesting.
So then you'll get the maintenance UI if it's already installed.
Right. When would you recommend using WiX standard BA over WiX internal UI BA if you're using display internal UI?
If you have multiple MSIs that you want to show UI.
Right. Okay.
So this is kind of why I gave a proposal to just completely remove, like have standard BA not even support internal UI anymore.
Right.
Because you really shouldn't do it.
Right. Well, I'd make that statement without conditions. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have strong feelings because, like, I don't use multiple internal UIs in a chain. I don't like that. But it is a condition, right? So you could disable internal UI. We could go back to the users could go back to the v3 behavior using a condition. I think that's right.
I'm not sure if we're providing enough information for them to do that. Like
bundle action isn't enough?
No, because it'll plan it for both execute and rollback.
Oh, right. Okay.
So that condition is used for both.
Yeah, that wouldn't work.
So I guess we could release it like it is and then figure out how painful it is.
Yeah, I think this is like we learned something in WiX 3. We made an adjustment in WiX 4, and we learn again in WiX 5 potentially.
I mean, I do think that the internal UI BA is probably going to be, the more common choice. Just, based on the history during V3 about when people use internal UI. And there are options, some of this we could look at doing, because we are passing in properties that indicate that burn is running the internal UI.
Right.
So it is something we could potentially work around in WiX UI.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd go down that route, see how people run it, see what happens when people use it, and if necessary,
we'll adjust in 5.
Well, yes, and a workaround in V4 is possible.
Sure.
So, this is not a, we're closing doors and it will be irredeemably broken. We could definitely work around it in WiX UI.
Then you can also write a BA functions.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I'm comfortable with that.
Sounds good.
Cool.
All right. So this is what it looks like we're taking in RTM. This is double the number of bugs that we took in RC3. Clearly, we had a bunch of people decide that now is the time to try it out. It's fine. We appreciate the bugs. We're better to catch them now, I guess, than after RTM. But this is probably the docket plus any more doc bugs that we can fix. We'll keep fixing the doc issues as we find them. Since there's lots and lots of words, human words there that don't get compiled, I'm sure we'll find more things to fix there. Update there.
Human words are the worst.
Yeah, I know. It's like, hey, this is why I have some sympathy for lawyers. They're essentially programming with human words, and it's that sounds terrible to me. At least we have a compiler that can tell you, no, that's not going to work. So look at the last few here. The top block here took a bunch of conversion things, mostly to help people get to the other side. I'm kind of looking at did we hit anything that like really resets our world that we're afraid to release tomorrow, that we need to do another release? And to be clear, I really don't want to. So it's like, I think I want to just say we're going tomorrow, but I want to kind of do a sanity check of what we've taken here in these last little bit, and why I think we're still okay. Spoiler alert. So the WiX Cop, I'm not too worried about. They're things people found. We fixed them. The .NET compatibility check was cool, subtle, and Bob found a nice targeted fix for that. The null reference exception was error handling that was able to be added, found, and added. So that's a good thing. We have some documentation things. Fixing a warning. This is from early. I don't remember some of these. Early in WiX RC4. What was the fix to this? Right. Yeah, okay. A mistaken key into a dictionary where the tests had the same keys, and so it was able to cross-reference two dictionaries. All right. That was a nice, subtle little bug, but it was great that someone was trying to use patching, so that was good. Small, fixes in, what was this one? Man, these are so long ago.
2 weeks being so long ago.
There's just so many things going on right now. Start with dots. Yeah, file names that start with dots are not valid short names. Who knew? Even if they are .3. That's why this one was working. It was a .3, so it's like, oh, that's a valid extension, but there's no file name, so it can't be. Anyway, someone did a fix in DTF that has been there since the dawn of time of that thing. Handling some more spaces in paths, and prereq won't compile despite prereq. This is I forgot what this one.
Compiler.
There was an out parameter that was being ignored.
Okay, so more error checking, and then spaces with project references. Project references with spaces in the name were not getting their preprocessor bind path set correctly. This one's fun because someone complained about this and then deleted their complaint. And yet, because we watch all issues, you get to see the complaint by the person. It's like, why isn't this documented? And then they probably found that it was documented.
It is, of course.
Well, the funny part is like, it's the last commit on here is to add the documentation. This right here. Anyway, I was amused.
Well, the documentation's been there forever.
Not about the spaces. The spaces, I added the documentation about us turning spaces into underscores.
Sorry, the complaint was about the references in general.
Oh.
Which have been documented for a long time.
Those have been documented for a long time.
Yeah.
With no talk about spaces. All right. So, this is the set that we've brought in V4. Going to take a swing at the MSI package here. I'm gonna fix the wording on suppress stage verification, and then where's the relative path one? The make relative path. I've lost it. It's somewhere. I'll find it. It's assigned to me. So there's the to try to make relative path issue. If that as a nice targeted fix, we will have both Bob and Sean will review them, since I think I'm the only one making edits. Review all these things, make sure they look good, and we will be doing the release tomorrow. Or forever hold your peace. Anybody want to argue against going tomorrow? It's nice and quiet. It's kind of what I want. I need to give everybody a little bit of a chance in chat. I said this last time. I've not quite reached acceptance yet, but I am prepared that someone's going to find a bug tomorrow afternoon when WiX 4 has just been released and be like, I can't believe you guys didn't find this. Or maybe they'll be nice and be like, hey, I found this bug. And we're all going to be like, why didn't you open this a month ago? Why didn't you try a month ago? But then the answer is going to be like, yeah, we'll fix it in WiX 5. And maybe if we find something that's embarrassing enough, we'll do a WiX 401 or something like that. We don't have any specific plans around a 401 because we don't want to do them. The initial will be like, yeah, we'll just fix it in WiX 5. That's going to be the general attitude for people that are just picking it up and using it. Unless we're like, oh, like one of us, Bob, Sean, or I, like, oh, we really need to fix that. That's going to really affect people. Then we'll start talking about 401. All right, tomorrow's the day. We'll have this pushed out. People will be able to rejoice, start using it, and the fundamental truth is I'm going to be hiding underneath my desk just waiting for the first thing to hit that says an issue was not found that could have been found. Because, so Mark asked a reasonable question of what's the reticent about doing point releases? Because they take us away from moving forward on WiX 5. Yeah. It's just, we don't want to do work on point releases. If you're not going to be involved and get your things in and just be part of it, you're just going to have to wait for the next release. So WiX 5 we're going to target, we'll talk about WiX 5 more, but as we've discussed in the past, the goal is to go for a year. And so hopefully people will start getting into like, oh, if I really need to get this, I need to be a part of WiX and make sure that my fixes get in there. So we'll go from there. Just, they take effort, they take work. WiX is large enough that we need to like think through all the things. And if we don't have to think about these big releases except once a year, that seems better than spending a lot of time thinking about extra releases all over the place. Because then we will be able to do things that are useful as opposed to fixing bugs for people that didn't stay on top of the open source project they're using for free.
Well, and also, you know, it's been a few months, right, since like RC1, where, you know, everything was there. I mean, you know, Heatwave was there with the project converter, and you know, there really wasn't a lot of reason to not at least try converting a small project.
Yep. Head time, or even your full project. I mean, really,
well,
just
you know, I'm looking for like a very low bar of you know, people finding stuff. It's not like we threw it all and there was no conversion help or anything. I know it's a lot of work, but
no, this is if you just want to hang out in the community and use WiX for free and all these kinds of things, then you need to stay on top of it. All right, so we're kind of bordering line questions, comments. I don't know which slide to stay on. I kind of like this one because it says April 5th is tomorrow and WiX 4 is done. I am going to, my plan is to have a Deployment Dojo show. I don't know what I'm going to do because I want to be celebrating, but the fundamental truth is I'm still afraid that I'm going to hit with something. So I'm still like in this, I don't know what's going, I don't know how to feel right now. Plus, we have a whole bunch of things coming out in Fire Giant in the not too distant future too. So it's like the work doesn't end here. Lots of things coming. So I'm just filling time. If there's questions, comments, other things we want to talk about, you're welcome, Julian. Lim. We're glad that you're jumping in and checking out WiX. And if you hit issues, then we'll be happy looking at WiX file. It'll be great. Hopefully, it just works for you and everything's awesome. This is tomorrow and no WiX 4. And at some point, I hope I'm going to have a chance to like sit and just think about the long road that was Wix 4 and all the things that happened along the way. And Wix 5 will be different. So, on that note, lots of work to do tomorrow. So if I convince my boss if I fire Shepherd's question, does that? Yeah, that I mean, Zach. Yeah, I mean, supporting Fire Giant supports more of us. And it also guarantees things like support contracts and stuff, things like that. So yeah, there's benefits on all those. Yeah, there is, like, you could definitely do that. It helps, Zach. Mark, Wix 4 is amazingly stable. That's good. Glad to hear that too. I'd love a dojo show on Advanced. I am working towards advanced harvesting topic in the dojo. We're getting close to the point where I have everything I need to do exactly that. It is not this week. I don't think it's next week, but I hope it's like the week after that or so, just the timings. Your request has been echoed by many people that want a topic on advanced harvesting and how to do all that stuff, and it is a topic that is coming. The way to think about that. So now we're talking about dojo in the Wix meeting. Anyway, you're welcome to join me tomorrow at 12:30. Hopefully it is not a show where I'm showing you all the release mechanics of the Wix toolset as we're trying to get everything done. I hope everything's going smoothly well before that.
Yeah, that was my question. Are you going to push the button before or after the dojo?
My dream is that everything's going to be ready to go early in the morning. I'm hoping I've been sick the last few days too, so I've not been running 100%. I'm hoping tomorrow I feel good enough to wake up, go to the gym at 5, get back by 6:30, all the processes are running, and that by 9 o'clock, everything's done. Now that's a pipe dream. It will probably not be 9 o'clock, but that's my dream, which gives me 2.5, 3 hours ish to have it actually do get up before dojo. So I have a dream, Sean. I'm living a dream. We'll see if it works out. The release notes might not be done because Bob doesn't get up that early. And he has a 3-hour advantage on me.
Yeah, well, some people think that getting up at 5 to go to the gym is just like weird.
So that's the dream. Like that's the dream to have everything. I'll be honest, if I don't have it up, I'm confident that the Wix 4 bits will be into the GitHub package repository because they go there first. Given the way the build process happens and all the things that happen downstream from that, that's like very, very early in the process. So I'm confident they'll be there. So I may be like doing another dojo show on how to get like a dev build out. I don't know. But using MS build, because I haven't done a dojo show on how to use the MS build to get private builds. I don't know. I don't want that to be a problem. I want it all to be out. So that's what we're working for. In case it's not clear, we're talking about having Wix 4 RTM done tomorrow as early as possible in the Pacific time zone. And then hopefully all you'll enjoy it. The most stable, amazingly stable and bug-free release, as said by Mark Stega. And the great product by Junyun Lim. I'm pulling quotes out of the chat. Mostly out of context, but mostly in context too. All right. That's it, I guess. Oh no, we have to talk about next meeting. I'm gonna throw this out here. Do we like Tuesdays or do we want to stay on Thursdays? I'm flexible between Tuesdays and Thursdays. We haven't talked about it in a long time. At the end of a Wix release seems like a reasonable time to talk about it. Bob, Sean, do you guys have any preferences? Do you like Thursdays? Do you like Tuesdays? Chat, do you like Tuesdays, Thursdays? Those of you that are here in chat definitely get more of a vote than those of you that end up watching this later and leave a comment saying, hey, I'm watching this video later. I got to all the way to the end, which means I am watching WiX Online Meetings, and leave a comment saying, and if you had it at this time zone, I would show up live. That's what we're looking for, is how many people can make it live. But the highest priority definitely is Bob and Sean. Do you guys have any preferences? Tuesdays, Thursdays, anything like that?
Nope.
No, they're pretty much the same.
Yeah, that's kind of the same for me too at this point. Tuesdays and Thursdays. All right. Does chat have anything else? Just pick one. So yeah. So the only reason I'm talking about it now is because we've done a major release. Sometimes there's benefits, to say, okay, let's shift things around a little bit, and see if we can pick up more people than we've had at this time. We've had not a whole lot of new people showing up, so sometimes moving around helps, especially if all of you can follow us there. Zach, Junyan, Jacob hasn't piped. No, Jacob did. He says indifferent. Just pick one, stick to it, which we will definitely do. Anybody else have any preferences between Thursdays and Tuesdays? If we did 2 weeks from now, which I think is probably the right thing, let's go take a week of downtime and then come back and start talking about WiX 5 and what's next in WiX 4 and a little bit of how WiX 4 is doing. Do we want to do the 18th or do we want to do the 20th? 18th is a Tuesday, 20th is a Thursday.
Might not be a bad thing to keep 420 open.
420. That means we're going back to we're going to stay on Thursdays then.
Or was Bob saying he doesn't want the meeting on Thursday?
So yeah, I don't ask questions like that. Bob works for me. I don't ask that question.
Oh yeah, thanks.
What are you saying? You want to? We should probably pick so I can schedule the meeting out for everybody that wants to know.
It comes down to, do we want to change?
Yes, that's the big question.
I'm fine with a change. I also have no reason to push for a change. Yeah, it's like it doesn't really matter. It's either it's 2 weeks approximately or exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have a strong feeling. If Tuesday were measurably better, go for it.
Let's do Tuesdays. Let's shift it up a little bit for WiX 5 and see if we get a lot of new input. If we find that Tuesdays are not working for some reason, then we'll put it back on Thursdays. I expect it's going to be kind of a no-op, and we'll just see how it goes. But let's do Tuesdays for a while and see how things roll. Maybe we'll be like, we like it earlier in the week, or no, it's much better if it's later in the week, and we can learn from that. We can always change it. But let's start with the line in the sand that we're going to do Tuesdays. So that would be April 18th, 2 weeks from now. We'll be talking about WiX 4, all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, that's the end. Tomorrow is a whole lot of work for me in the release process. Just pushing all the buttons around, make sure all the final tests go through, everything gets validated, signed, and checked, and then we're good to go. So, do you guys have anything else?
I'm good.
Nope. All right. Let's do April 18th. We'll send out a notice to let everybody know that we're moving the 18th. If you are here and you're in chat and you're watching this, you can leave a comment saying, hey, it'd be really cool if you guys did Thursdays instead. I'm going to make them in the future. Just say that. If you're like, hey, no, I'll be there for Tuesdays, you can do that too. Do read all the comments. We don't get a lot of them. Most people are like, yeah, it's great. Just nice to know what the status is. Status is RTM is tomorrow. We'll be back in 2 weeks on a Tuesday at 9:30 Pacific time. Till then, you guys keep working. I'm going to be really busy tomorrow. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Two weeks. I'm glad Jacob got the OXFF thing. At least someone reacted. I was amused.
I'm glad you remembered.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes. Well, I was doing the slide deck really late. Bye, Ron. Thanks for being there. I'm glad you could hang out with us for an extra hour. Or it was quiet probably for the first hour. Anyway, we'll be
just getting a good seat up at front.
Yeah, exactly. Good seat up in front. No problem. No problem with time zones. None of that. All that good stuff. Oh, I forgot about the. All right. Well, that's not gonna happen with 5 anyway. So, someone has a pull request open without an issue. And we didn't talk about it. Oh well. Oh well. All right. So one of the big things for even those of you that are hanging out in the stream, the last 2 people watching, if there's anybody left watching, is the next one of the big things is I'm still debating whether we rename the WiX repo, WiX 4 repo to be the WiX repo, or whether we fork it, I guess, and create a WiX 5 repo next to WiX 4.
Or create a WiX repo.
or fork it, create a WiX repo. Yeah, I think I would rename it because the redirects will work. Everything will work out because GitHub will do the redirects for us.
Right. You did this before.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if they didn't do that, then that would be different. But anyway, it's kind of like haven't had a minute to sit and really think about all the upsides and downsides. So it's gonna be one of the things I want to sit and think about.
Well, there's an interesting wrinkle there in that the redirects are conflicting with the original Wix4 redirects. So then, if you rename it back, I don't know what's going to happen because we've had 2 Wix4 repos.
Well, it's my understanding is it's the last ones, and then the renames. Whoever's last takes the spot essentially.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So they supposedly call out, which means that someone could come along and take your spot, or take over by naming a repository that. But because it's all within our org, we're the only ones that would do it to ourselves. So it should just work. There are 2 others waiting already. Ron was like, I wasn't alone. I was here. Did you not have a chat with them? Could have been the ghost that was tracking the Netcore XE window thing. That is just trippy. I love that. That was awesome. That bug was hilarious. You need a video to capture it or a screen reader. I love that. Faster than human eye, but you can't hide from a slow-mo capture or the screen reader. That's just.
Well, I was up until the point I noticed the flicker and realized that there was something taking focus. I'm like, how can I slow it down? I'm like, okay, I have my little NUC over here that's slow, but it's not wired to my monitor. I only get to it through remote desktop. I'm like, Sandbox is too fast. I'm like, I need to keep, like a 386 on standby.
386. All right. There's going back, and then there's going back.
Yeah, well.
I think
I'm not saying I have a 386 on standby. He says, thinking about the recesses of his storage room.
It's like 386. I think 386 is the first computer I had after the first real computer I had after my PC Junior. And it was such an amazing machine. I couldn't believe my parents got a 386. It was a stunning computer. Could do all kinds of things the PC Junior could do.
So did you check and see whether I made the same mistake with the Netcore search? I don't remember who copied who, but I have a feeling the code was copied between those 2.
Interesting.
That sounds like a no. You didn't check.
I definitely didn't check. But I made the change inside DUTL. So the code.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, the code that the custom action used to run the Netcore check exe used proc exec, which takes an end command show type of argument, and the proc exec ignored it. So and it was a 1-line fix. So I was a little nervous.
Well, I remember that I saw a lot of different places in the Wix code. We were creating a process, so
yeah,
that doesn't necessarily mean that both are using the same code.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, actually, proc exec is only used in 2 places. That custom action and then burn. I'm like, oh man. So if I screw this up, I might break burn. Yeah.
All right. I have a couple issues to go fix, or at least one to go try. One to finish. Right. An error message to finish. And then the other one is to go try to figure out what I'm going to do with this make relative thing. How small a change can I get that works well without doing lots of damage all over the place? All right. Well, talk to you guys later. We'll see you.